And you're watching NewsX World. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. Israel has mobilized tens of thousands of reservists as it prepares for a major assault on Gaza City while considering a new ceasefire proposal after nearly 2 years of war. The move signals Tel Aviv's determination to seize Gaza's largest urban hub, despite global criticism and warnings of mass Palestinian displacement. French President Emmanuel Macron says Israel's military push to seize Gaza City can only lead to a complete disaster for both peoples. He warns the operation and call-up of reservists will drag on the region into a permanent war, again urging an international stabilization mission. The Palestinian Authority says Israel's green light for a major settlement project in the E1 area of the West Bank destroys hopes for a two-state solution. It warns the plan will fragment the territory into isolated enclaves, calling them prisons that cut off geographical and demographic unity. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov accuses European leaders of making clumsy attempts to sway US President Donald Trump's position on Ukraine. He said their meeting with Trump and President Zelensky offered no constructive ideas, only escalating rhetoric. Furthermore, the Kremlin downplays speculation of an imminent meeting between Presidents Putin and Zelensky, even as Donald Trump presses for direct talks to end the war. Trump, after hosting European leaders and Zelensky in Washington, admits the conflict is tough to resolve and warns Putin may not want a deal. Local officials say 3 people were killed and 4 wounded after Russian forces launched 8 rocket strikes on the city of Konstantinivka in the Donbass. The attack targeted a local market as Moscow's troops press to encircle the strategic eastern hub. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran cannot fully sever cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog, even after Parliament curbed inspections following June strikes on its nuclear facilities. He says inspectors must remain involved despite new laws requiring high-level security approval for future visits. Chinese President Xi Jinping arrives in Lhasa for his second visit as leader to mark 6 decades since Beijing founded the Tibet Autonomous Region. Established in 1965, it followed the Dalai Lama's exile after a failed uprising became China's 5th and final autonomous region. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accuses Australia's Anthony Albanese of betraying Israel and abandoning the Jewish community, calling him a weak politician. The diplomatic rift deepens after Canberra moves to recognise a Palestinian state. Now we start with the Middle East.